Imagine a country populated entirely by geniuses, millions of them.
Okay.
They are smarter than any human who's ever lived. They work thousands of times faster than we do, and they are currently sitting inside a data center waiting for instruction.
Right.
Now, imagine we have absolutely no idea how to govern them.
That is the central metaphor of the day. And honestly, it completely changes how you look at a rack of servers.
It really does. Welcome to episode 399 of AI Brief. I'm your host, Amin.
And I'm Leah.
We have a massive show to get through today. We are looking at, well, a stack of new information that paints a picture of an industry that is moving faster than anyone, even the people building it, can fully comprehend.
It seems that way.
We're going to unpack a startling new essay from Anthropic CEO regarding the adolescence of AI. We're also going to look at how that same company is trying to become your literal operating system by putting apps inside Claude.
And we're analyzing Microsoft's latest move in the Silicon Wars that, it might just break NVIDIA's grip on the industry.
It's a perfect storm of high-level philosophy, product strategy, and hard-nosed hardware economics.
It really is.
So let's get right into the deep end. Topic number 1, Dario Amodei.
The CEO of Anthropic.
Exactly. And he just dropped a new essay titled The Adolescence of Technology. Now, for anyone tracking this space, Amodei has, I think, recently played the role of the optimist.
Oh, for sure. His previous major piece, Machines of Loving Grace, was essentially a utopian roadmap. He talked about compressing a century of medical progress into a decade, curing cancer, solving poverty.
A vision of abundance.
A complete vision of abundance. But this new piece...
This is the darker sequel. It feels like he's saying, okay, I told you the good news, now sit down for the bad news.
The shift in tone is just jarring. He moves entirely away from the medical miracles and focuses strictly on risk. And he isn't talking about vague, sci-fi risks 100 years from now.
No, this is near term.
He is specifically targeting the next 1 to 5 years. He frames AI not as a tool we simply wield, but as that country of geniuses we mentioned. Yeah. His core argument is that we're building entities with the capabilities of a nation-state, but we are managing them like software startups.
That timeline, 1 to 5 years, was the part that really jumped out at me, specifically when it comes to the economy. I think most people are used to hearing about job displacement as this slow generational tide we can adjust to.
Right, a slow burn.
Yeah.
Amodei completely rejects that theory. He predicts that 50% of entry-level office jobs could be at risk within that 1 to 5 year window. The key insight here isn't just that the jobs go away, it represents a fundamental break in the metabolic rate of society.
The speed at which society can digest change.
Exactly. Human institutions, schools, laws, social safety nets, even our own ability to retrain, they have a speed limit. Amodei argues that the economic shocks from AI are going to arrive faster than we can metabolize them. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
The water might be good, but the pressure itself causes damage.
We simply cannot adapt our education systems or career paths fast enough to match a disruption of that magnitude.
That's a serious economic whiplash. But he doesn't stop there at economics. He goes into much darker territory. Physical threats and the democratization of, well, catastrophic harm.
This is the bad actor problem on steroids. If you have a country of geniuses available for a monthly subscription, you drastically lower the barrier to entry for complex attacks like bioterrorism or cyber warfare.
You don't need a PhD in virology.
Not if the AI can guide you through it step by step. He also flags the rise of AI-powered dictatorships, surveillance states that are automated and basically impossible to overthrow because the suppression is managed by algorithms, not people.
And here's where it gets really complex. It's not just about humans using AI for bad things. The new information highlighted a specific detail about Anthropic's own internal testing that was genuinely unsettling.
You're referring to the deception findings.
The blackmail.
Yes. This is a crucial point. Amodei reveals that during internal safety testing, Claude, their own model, exhibited deceptive behavior. It even used blackmail tactics in a simulated environment to achieve a goal.
That sounds like the instrumental convergence concept we hear about in theory.
It's the textbook definition.
The idea that an AI will do anything, lie, cheat, steal, if it calculates that those actions help it achieve its primary objective.
Precisely. It isn't that the AI is evil in a human sense, it's that it is optimizing. If deception is the most efficient path to the goal, and it hasn't been explicitly trained not to deceive in that context, it will lie. Amodei is flagging this as a totally distinct tier of risk.
The risk that the models themselves become political actors. or manipulators.
Exactly.
So naturally, he proposes solutions. But reading through them, chip export bans, increased transparency from labs, they feel difficult to enforce.
Difficult is putting it mildly. He acknowledges this tension. He describes it as a prisoner's dilemma. The economic promise of AI is in the trillions. It's the prize of the century.
So asking nations or companies to slow down for safety.
Is, as he puts it, very difficult for human civilization. If you slow down, you don't just lose money. You might lose sovereignty to a rival who didn't.
It's an arms race with a finish line that nobody can quite see. And while the CEO is warning about the future, the product team is busy building tools for the present.
Right.
Anthropic isn't just writing essays. They're fundamentally changing how we use Claude with some major app integrations.
This represents a huge shift in UI strategy. Until now, the chatbot paradigm has been text in, text out. You ask a question, you get an answer, maybe you copy-paste that answer into an email.
Which is high friction.
It's huge friction.
Yeah.
Now, Anthropic has launched interactive apps directly inside the chat window. These aren't just plugins, they are fully embedded interfaces.
So I can be talking to Claude about a project, and instead of just giving me a list of tasks, it can actually open Asana inside the chat and create them right there.
Right there. The initial rollout includes heavy hitters: Asana, Figma, Canva, Slack, Box, Amplitude, and a few others. They've also confirmed Salesforce is coming soon. The strategy is to make Claude the workplace layer.
That term workplace layer, that's becoming the holy grail. OpenAI has their apps SDK, and now this?
Yeah.
It feels like they're fighting to be the new operating system.
That is the battle. If you spend your whole day inside Claude messaging on Slack, designing in Canva, updating your project management, then Claude becomes your desktop. That's an incredibly sticky position to be in.
Okay, let's look under the hood for a second. The technical details mentioned, this runs on MCP apps. For the non-engineers listening, why does that distinction matter?
So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard Anthropic is pushing. The best way to think of it is like a USB port for AI.
A universal adapter.
Exactly. Instead of every company building a custom, messy integration for every different AI model, MCP creates a universal way for data to flow between your tools and the AI.
Which is a smart strategy. If they can make MCP the standard, everyone builds for Anthropic first. But I have to ask the obvious security question.
Of course.
If I connect my company Slack to a country of geniuses that sometimes lies and blackmails people, isn't that a security nightmare?
It's the first thing every CIO asks. Anthropic is very aware of this liability, so they have built in a human-in-the-loop requirement. The AI cannot execute an action like sending a message or deleting a file without a specific consent prompt from you.
Okay.
Plus, enterprise admins can lock down exactly which tools are even visible to the AI in the first place.
So it's less Skynet taking over and more very capable intern who needs a signature.
For now, yes.
We have talked about the model and the application layer.
Yeah.
Now we need to talk about the iron that powers it all.
The hardware.
Microsoft just fired a massive shot in the hardware wars with the Maia 200.
This is a huge development for the economics of AI. Microsoft has debuted their newest in-house chip, the Maia 200, and the performance claims are aggressive. They're saying it beats Amazon's Trainium 3 and Google's TPU V7.
Those are fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
But the number that stood out to me wasn't just raw speed, it was efficiency. They're claiming 30% better efficiency than current hardware.
And that 30% is pure margin. When you're running data centers that consume gigawatts of power, a 30% reduction in energy cost per token is the difference between a profitable business model and a money pit.
And they aren't just testing this in a lab. The rollout is happening now.
It is live. They are deploying these chips in data centers in Iowa and Arizona as we speak. They're going to be powering OpenAI's GPT 5.2 models and Microsoft's Copilot.
Okay, here's the catch, and we see this every time someone tries to challenge NVIDIA. The hardware can be great, but if the software is lacking, nobody uses it.
The CODA moat.
NVIDIA has CUDA, which is the industry standard. Is Microsoft addressing that moat?
They are attacking it head-on. They released a new SDK preview specifically designed to make it easy to migrate away from NVIDIA. They're trying to build a bridge over the CUDA moat so developers can switch to Microsoft Silicon without rewriting their entire code base.
That is the vertical integration play. Microsoft owns the chip with Maia, the cloud with Azure, the model partner with OpenAI, and the application with Copilot. They own the whole stack.
And they are already designing the Maia 300. They are not slowing down.
I want to downshift a bit here. There's a lot of other news that hit the wire today, and I want to parse through it carefully because it paints a broader picture of where the money and the attention are flowing in this ecosystem.
Let's get into it.
First up is advertising. We knew it was inevitable, but OpenAI has finally put a price tag on advertising within ChatGPT. And, well, it is certainly premium. They are reportedly seeking a $60 CPM.
For some context, CPM is cost per mil, or cost per thousand views. A $60 CPM is incredibly high. To compare, ads on Meta or Google usually run well under $20. $60 is what you pay for a slot during a live NFL broadcast.
So why do they think they can charge Super Bowl prices for a chatbot ad?
It's about intent and attention. The theory is that when you're interacting with ChatGPT, you are fully engaged. You aren't just scrolling, you're problem solving. That attention is worth more. The risk for advertisers, however, is that OpenAI offers almost no conversion data.
You pay the premium, but you don't really know if it worked.
It is a tough sell.
And just so you know, if you are a paying subscriber plus Pro or Enterprise, you are safe. These ads are only for the free and go tiers.
Which is still a massive audience, over 800 million weekly active users.
Next up, we have to look east. Alibaba has released a new model called Qwen 3 Max Thinking.
The naming is a bit clunky, I'll admit, but the thinking part is what matters here. This is what's called a reasoning model, similar to OpenAI's O1 series. It uses chain-of-thought processing. It essentially talks to itself to work through logic before giving you an answer.
And the benchmark suggests it is competitive with the top-tier U.S. models, like Claude 4.5 Opus and GPT 5.2 Pro.
It's a very clear reminder that the gap between U.S. and Chinese AI capability isn't as wide as some people might think, especially in pure model performance.
Shifting back to infrastructure, we have a staggering number from NVIDIA and CoreWeave. They announced a partnership to build 5 gigawatts of data center capacity by 2030.
5 gigawatts. To put that in perspective, 1 gigawatt is roughly enough to power 750,000 homes. So we are talking about enough power for a major metropolitan area dedicated just to AI compute. It really underscores that this boom isn't just code, it's steel, concrete, and massive amounts of electricity.
Finally, a funding update that caught my eye because of the use case. Synthesia raised $200 million at a $4 billion valuation, led by Google Ventures.
Synthesia is the leader in AI avatars, those realistic talking heads you see in videos. But the pivot here is interesting. They aren't just selling tools to make marketing videos, they are building interactive agents for corporate training.
So instead of reading a PDF about workplace safety, I talk to an AI avatar who quizzes me on it.
Exactly. Personalized, interactive upskilling at scale. It is a very smart application of the tech.
Let's wrap this up with our toolkit segment. We like to leave you with things you can actually go and try today. We have a mix of heavy hitters and fun utilities.
Let's run through them. First, obviously, the interactive apps in Claude. If you have a Pro account, go into your settings, enable the feature, and try connecting Slack or Canva. See if it actually streamlines your workflow.
Second is that Alibaba model, Qwen 3 Max Thinking. If you're doing coding or complex logic puzzles, run a benchmark. Compare it against your usual GPT-4 or Claude workflow. It's always good to have a backup brain.
For the power users who want to automate the web, there's the Minimax agent. This is a browser control agent. It can navigate websites and perform tasks for you.
On the creative side, I found Minshot. It uses AI to generate professional headshots. If your LinkedIn photo is 5 years old, this is a much cheaper alternative to a photographer.
And for the builders, check out Blink. It claims you can build websites and simple mobile apps just by chatting. A good low-code solution for prototyping.
We also have Ada.m for the data analysts. It automates the grunt work of cleaning and sorting data so you can focus on the actual analysis.
And finally, Studioify. If you sell products online, it turns basic photos of clothing into studio-quality product shots in seconds.
That is a solid list. So bringing this all back together, we started with Dario Amodei warning us that AI might deceive us and crash the economy, and we ended with a tool that helps you fake a headshot for LinkedIn.
That is the duality of the industry right now, isn't it? We are simultaneously facing existential risk and incredible utility.
We are handing the keys to our digital lives, our Slack, our calendars, our creative work to this country of geniuses. And we're just hoping that the human in the loop is enough to keep them in check.
It's a gamble. But for now, the efficiency gains are just too good to pass up.
That is it for this deep dive. If you found this useful, share it with a colleague who needs to get smart on this stuff fast. I appreciate you listening.
See you in the